All right, today we have a beer called Victory V12, obviously from Victory Brewing Company out in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Funny story about this beer, it's a quadruple. It comes at a 12% alcohol by volume. It comes only in bombers, and it is now available year-round, as a matter of fact. Pretty popular Belgian quad, U.S.-Belgian quad. I probably, since I started doing reviews back in, what was my first review? Was it March or April of 2012? We're in the end of 2014 now. I've probably bought like 3 bottles prior to this and never reviewed this beer. I think I meant to review it, but I just couldn't wait to get into the bottle, so I just went into the bottle and didn't even bother doing a review. But finally, I bought a bottle that I was actually going to drink on Thanksgiving, and I ended up not drinking on Thanksgiving. So I was able to hold on to this for a little while, and here we are. We're able to review it. 12% ABV, as I mentioned. Gets a good rating, an outstanding rating on Beer Advocate, a 90. It gets an even better rating on Rate Beer, a 98. So lots of good things to be said about this, and there is a little blurb here in the back. So simple in its creation, so magnificent in its maturity, this wonderful ale begins with nature's most humble offerings. Water, malted grains, and hops are skillful. Yeast breathes life, or sulfur rather, yeast breathes life and depth into each brew. The steady hand of time orchestrates this alchemy into the splendid ale before you. Cheers. The reason I have problems reading these labels sometimes is because I have the light on my camera, and I'm kind of staring right into the lens right now, and when I take my light, it's like staring into the sunshine. When I take my eyes off it, so all I see is words and spots when I when I go back to the bottle here. So I'll try to do a little better next time. I can actually read my notes a lot better. It uses whole flower, Styrian Goldings, and German Tettnang hops, imported 2-roll malts, and it goes with roasted chicken pretty well. So that's its food pairing right there. Let's pour her into this heavy glass here, not a chalice. Still got to get one. And pretty surprised at the lightness of the pour. It is not a dark quad at all. It's a very light quad, as a matter of fact. I had to make sure this is a quad. It is a quad. But this almost has the appearance of a Belgian strong pale. It has very, very little head, if any, on it. Maybe just a tiny film of it. And it's dissipating rather quickly, so it's just kind of basically almost non-existent head. Let's get the aroma now of Victory V12. Oh yeah, definitely getting that malty, figgy, dark fruit kind of smell that you're used to with the quadruple. It's a great smell to it. I mean, for American beers, I know the American water quality usually is not quite as good as the water quality in Europe. Therefore, a lot of the really authentic German and Belgian beers are just far and away better than the Americanized versions. This beer has a great aroma to it. It definitely could pass as a as an authentic Belgian. Appearance, I'm still kind of dumbfounded by the appearance. Maybe I never really took notice into the appearance of this, but this is definitely a Belgian strong pale appearance, even though it's a quad. So let's get the taste now of Victory V12. Very boozy on the back of the tongue, but it's 12%, so it would have to be a miracle to mask the booze in this beer. Definitely getting the dark fruit and the figgy sensations to this. Heavily malted. And a good tasting quad. I wouldn't quite put it in the class of some of the Belgian quads like St. Bernardus ABT12 or some of the other ones like the Trappist Roquefort or Rochefort, whatever you want to say. But for an Americanized quad, it's probably way up there. Three Philosophers is very good too, and Three Philosophers is a dark beer. It may be one of those styles that it can be kind of all-encompassing. There can be different variations of it, but it definitely has the appearance of a Belgian strong pale, as I mentioned many, many times in just the last few minutes. And that's kind of thrown me off a little bit. My review for the appearance will not be that great. The review for the aroma will be very good. As far as the taste, it's a great dark roasty, not roasty, but a dark malty, fruity taste. A little bit too much of an alcohol twinge to it than I would like out of my quad. But just for an Americanized quad, it's a good beer. So I'm going to go ahead and give Victory V12 a 7.5 out of 10. It's just one of the better examples of a quad in the U.S. I think Three Philosophers is a little better, but now watch. I'll go back to my Three Philosophers review and I'll have rated it lower, which I don't think I did. I think I gave Three Philosophers like a 9 or something like that. But I will double check and make sure. So 7.5 out of 10 for Victory V12. Thank you very much.